Online Money Makers. This is Michelle Brubaker, and I'm here with Cordelia Blake, and I'm excited to have her here today. She's going to answer a really big question. This happens to people all the time. In fact, this happens to people who are in my audience too, that are, I'm in KDP book publishing, and people ask the exact same question in print on demand, in private label, in products. This is a very, very valid question. And so what I really wanted Cordelia to do when she brought this to me is really break it down for people. In fact, I know she's put 5 things together to share with you. And this is powerful stuff, because you know what? I don't like going down a path and then finding out it's not going to be profitable. I mean, we all have great ideas. I have lots of ideas too. I have oodles of ideas. I wake up in the middle of the night with ideas, right? We all do.
Yes.
We all wake up with that great idea, and oh my gosh, how important it is to make sure it's a profitable one. And it's okay to do the non-profitable one, but for fun, but I prefer to do the profitable one ideas first, and then go do the things I like to do for fun with the profits from it. That's my favorite way to do it. So Cordelia, tell folks who you are, where you're from, and I'm actually not quite sure where you're from either. Is it West Coast or Central U.S.?
Well, I'm in Atlanta. I'm
okay.
originally from Philadelphia, but I live in Atlanta. And so I've been selling online since 2013, and I've sold a wide range of stuff. And one of the things that I think that I've become aware of is that in the Amazon world, so I've done importing and private label and bundles, and I teach classes, and because I love teaching. And so I run a community. I do a bunch of that kind of stuff. So, but I mostly sell physical products. I've done some KDP, I've done some print on demand, and I just honestly, it hasn't been a good fit for my personality. I tend to do better with products. But one of the things that kind of what triggered the idea for this talk is I was back in the olden days when we used to meet people face to face. Remember those days when we saw people in the same room that we weren't related to? I was in this neighborhood mastermind, and it was all different kinds of business people. And one of the women said, "Oh, my dad wants to make these leather bracelets." And I was like, "Oh, well, this is what he can do to see how that works." And I realized that when you're not in the world of product selling on Amazon, you don't even always know, like, even if you're selling stuff in a brick and mortar store, you're going to the arts and crafts fair, whatever you're selling, you can use kind of these techniques to start to understand the marketplace a little bit, and what you either, if you're up against it and you want to take it on and you still think it's a good idea, or if you're like, you know what, maybe this isn't my thing, let me use one of my 50 other ideas that I had, or whatever, so, but a lot of people, they don't put it together. And so these techniques, it's kind of focused on Amazon in some sense with using the data of Amazon, but you can use that for anywhere you're selling. So that's the thrust of today's presentation.
Well, and that's powerful, because Amazon being the world's largest online retailer, and people basically only go there to buy something. So using Amazon's data to help you choose is probably a good place to start at. I get that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's free. It's the price is right for their data. What I'm going to show you today, everything I'm going to show you is totally free. Anybody can do this. And it can give you a really good idea of the market for your idea.
Wonderful. And that's great. Once in a while I'll see one of my students and they'll show me they just created something, and I'm like, what compelled you to do that?
Yes. I had I teach bundles, how to put products together. And I had somebody once who did an Easter bundle. We're talking about Easter bundle. And I had given this example of white chocolate. And I did this one year. I sold a white chocolate Easter basket, and it sold great. And she said, "Oh, good, I'm going to do an Easter basket of everything colored yellow." And I was like, it wasn't that it was all white. It was that it was a kind of chocolate that people like. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she just zoned in on the fact that it was all the same color stuff in the basket. And I'm like, I don't know how many people just love the color yellow for their Easter baskets. And so it is hard when you're kind of trying to figure out how to how to take kind of your idea and understand how that connects to a customer and who the customer is. And so this process can help you with that too, I think.
Well, great. Well, let's do it. I'm going to put up, Cordelia is so professional. She created these slides for us. This is awesome. So I'm just going to put the first one up, and you let me know when I need to switch from these. So,
and these will be, you can, if you want to share these, you can just put them in your group is fine. So
okay.
You can have these slides. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go ahead and forward to the next slide. So I try to do all my talks in bite-sized chunks. So this is just 5 things to help you validate an idea. So autofill on Amazon is super powerful. Basically, as you start typing, it suggests things. And so in general, if you are wanting to do something that does not autofill on Amazon, it means that people are not searching for it. So even if, like I said, you're going to sell on a totally different platform, or you're going to do something totally different, knowing that people are searching for a thing on Amazon is a powerful piece of data to have.
So even if I'm going to sell on Etsy or eBay or create my own Shopify store
or print on demand or whatever. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And there are tools like Helium 10 and some tools that can give you deeper insight into this. Mm-hmm. But just the basic level, just starting to type stuff in it's free for anyone. And you can see, are people looking for this thing that I'm selling?
That's a really quick way to do it too. I mean, you could do that very easily. Mm-hmm. It only takes a couple seconds to do. Doesn't that also, Cordelia, help us to even niche it a little more too, maybe?
It does. Because you'll see, like, for example, there might be, now I just pulled the top 3 for this leather bracelet. This was out of my thing that somebody asked me because her dad was going to make leather bracelets for a craft fair. But, there's things like somebody might be looking for leather bracelets for teenagers, or there's a lot of them that have like Christian messages on them. So maybe you're looking for Christian leather bracelets or whatever, like inspirational. And so, yeah, it can help you understand the niches that people are searching for. Yep, absolutely.
Way cool. So does it autofill on Amazon? That's a good, check. I would do this checklist on your next idea. Check 1, right?
Yeah. That's kind of how I designed this. So you can just kind of go through. And now this isn't, you might hit all these and still get to the end and be like, I'm not sure if this is my thing. But if you pass all these tests, it will give you a lot of more information to make a decision, which is
excellent. Great. Okay. So number 4.
And this is a big one because I actually, this came out of my personal experience. I messed this one up.
I love those bracelets, by the way. I had actually bought one similar to the second one there.
Oh, okay. So when you do your autofill, so I went ahead and put in leather bracelets for women.
Okay.
So, you're going to see, now I have some tools in my browser. So I see lots of data when I first pull up stuff on Amazon. But if you don't have any of those tools, you're going to look for 2 things. In general, you want to look for how much is the stuff selling for?
Price.
Because if, like, for me, this happened to me with leather bracelets. I bought wholesale leather bracelets, but their price point was like $40 and they were beautiful, but nobody's paying $40 for a leather bracelet on Amazon. They're all like $6, $7, $8, $9, $10. So the first kind of, and you can say, oh, but they're made in China and mine's 10 times better and mine's fair trade and mine's responsibly, blah, 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 up the wazoo. But if the market thinks that these are something they can get for $10 and yours is $50, then you might want to go do a different thing that isn't going to be such a convincing people to pay 5 times as much for your thing. Or at least kind of go in knowing that you're maybe definitely not going to sell on Amazon. You need a more premium style delivery, marketplace. So you want to see if it's profitable, see what the market is for the pricing. And then the other thing is that you want to see if it's popular. So if you put in your leather bracelets for women, you want to do what's called looking at the BSR, is the abbreviation that we all use in the Amazon world, but it stands for bestsellers rank. And BSR is basically like if something's like a New York Times #1 bestseller, that's really good, right? #1. And it goes up from there. So like into the millions, right? So in general, super duper general, you at least want something with the rank of under 100,000 to indicate that it has a pretty good sales, it's selling some. That's a super duper broad generalization, as you know, but
yes. Yeah.
No, if it's 5 million, then you don't want to sell that because people are searching for it. So you want to see on your top results, some stuff that has good rank. It shows you that people want to buy that.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask a couple questions about rank there? So for example, when I'm talking in my world is books, but I've also worked in other worlds as well. But for this would be probably jewelry or accessories or something like that. So if I had something of an Amazon bestseller rank in 100,000, that'd be great. Or 300,000 or 500,000. Like in the book world right now, at the landscape of the world and the market as it is right now, for my case, if a book is at around 100,000 rank, it's probably going to sell every couple days. If it's at 20 or 30,000, it's selling 5 or 10 a day. But that's a book category. So even if something's at 300,000, I'm still selling it a couple times a week. So how does that transfer over to others? Is the numbers just all over the board depending on what category it is? Is that kind of about where things are at?
So I don't know because I don't sell in every category.
That's a great question. Yeah, it's a very broad question.
I sell mostly in home and kitchen is mostly what I personally sell. And so we definitely shoot for under 100,000 in rank to be selling, 5 or 10 units a month. So
interesting. And that's kitchen and what category?
Home and kitchen.
Home and kitchen. So under 100,000. Great. Okay.
But like apparel is different because apparel with the print on demand apparel, like the whole merch program, the clothing ranks, there's so much clothing because of all the print on demand that you might have a 300,000 or 400,000 rank and it still might sell a few.
Okay. So it really depends.
I would say you kind of have to trial and error it. But right now, if you're just looking to see, this is kind of your first pass. Is this idea something I want to pursue further? Then you want to shoot for something where at least some of the results have lower rank. Because if none of the results have low rank, it will tell you that nobody's buying that.
Exactly.
So, you might be like, well, the top seller has a rank of 20,000. Mine has a rank of 50,000. I'm still doing good. That's fine. But you don't want to get into something where every rank is 4 million and you're like, this is just not enough demand.
Yeah. Excellent. So first thing we're doing is it autofill on Amazon? Then is it profitable? What's the price point for these? And looking at, is it even popular? Do people are even looking for it? So great.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's see what's next. I'm excited to see what's next. How many? This is a very good one as well.
So this is a little trick. Now this isn't a hard and fast. So you and I might both search for exactly the same thing on Amazon at exactly the same moment. And this number would be different for both of us. It's usually, or I might search at 11 a.m. and then do another search at 8 p.m. and get different results. So this is not an exact number that you can take to the bank. But when you do a search for something, it's going to tell you how many, in this case, it was 1 to 48 of over 10,000 results. So that just tells you what you're up against with how much competition is there. Now, if this is a product you're planning on launching on Amazon, this number is a lot more important than, let's say, you're trying to sell on Etsy or somewhere else, right? So if you're trying to sell somewhere else, then let's just say the price point's good, the profitability is good, it's popular, and there's a lot of results, well, then you might be okay with that because you'd be like, that just means a lot of people want this. So when I sell this at the craft fair, then everybody's going to want to buy it. But if you're on Amazon in general, I try not to do something with over 4,000 or 2,000 results. 2 to 4,000 is kind of like my sweet spot. Now you can niche down, like maybe you're doing a green leather bracelet, or maybe you're doing a leather bracelet with an inspirational saying, or maybe you're doing a leather bracelet with a pendant. And so as you sort of niche down and narrow down, the number of results will get less. But a lot of people, they don't even know to look for this number. And so this number can change wildly. And sometimes you'll find a sweet spot, like you'll put in a niche and all the things have good rank and profitability, and there's like 600 results. And that's great. Good. And then the other thing you can do is look, because sometimes it'll say, you know, oh, there's 2,000 results, but you can look on the results and sometimes see that like by maybe 3/4 of the page down, it's showing irrelevant results.
That's right.
So you're looking for a leather bracelet, but it starts showing beaded bracelets and chain bracelets. And you're like, well, there's 10,000 results, but they're not relevant. So you want to go beyond the number and make sure that the results you get are actually real results for the thing you're searching for.
Very good information. You know, that's what I tell folks. If you're going to make a mandala coloring book,
yes,
and there's 60,000 results, it might be difficult to, you know, to play the game in that landscape right there, because, you know,
yes,
it's going to be difficult to fit in amongst 60,000. And when you scroll down, you're going to see a lot of mandala coloring books. But then other times you might search it for something very niche. And I've done that before. I've been on a coaching call with somebody and we'll search and be like, hey, these results aren't even relevant. Now they're going into, you know, other things that aren't even related at all, just to fill up the space. And so, yeah, all these are very good. I love what you're sharing with us, because this will really help folks significantly. So excellent. Excellent. All right. How many results are there? And you like to keep that number, you said, where?
Definitely under 4,000 for sure. And really ideally under 2,000. How about you? What is do you have a?
Yeah, I like that, you know, 500 to 2,000 or 3,000 range.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And then again, and it's got to be relevant. So yeah. And then I look at what are the people at the top of the list? What is their bestseller rank, which you had on your previous slide? So looking at that, and then what's their rank? Because even if there is only 500 or 1,000 results, they may not even be selling anything because nobody wants that product. So
yeah, I mean, sometimes you'll hit like I was doing I find stuff when I'm doing research for classes and I'm like, oh, this is so good. But like at one point I did this thing where I was looking at plush Yetis, like the abominable snowman.
Oh, okay.
And it was totally just this thing. I was just trying to demonstrate niching down and whatever. And then I was like, oh my gosh, there's like 30 results and 10 of them are like under 20,000 in rank. And I was like, in big letters on the side, I'm like, this is a great private label opportunity if somebody wants to make plush abominable snowman dolls, because, you know, that is, if you have less results and the results that you have there are good rank, that tells you that that's a profitable niche that is underserved. So
yeah, exactly. I was looking up a coloring book one time in a niche, and I don't mean to refer to books but that's just my
it's really very simple.
I make my money at.
Yeah, it's great. I want to get more into books. I've done a few books, but it takes a lot of time to create them, and I just have been products. But I think books are fantastic, and it's such a low budget way to get into.
I was looking at this particular coloring book niche, which is, it's fun to do the research. I love numbers and data. I totally geek out on that stuff. And I saw that in this particular niche, there was on the list, it said there was, you know, hundreds, but really there was only 2 relevant results for adult coloring books on that topic. And then I thought to myself, and one of the 2 was geared more towards younger audiences. And I thought, well, that's a great niche to create in, because when they run out of that one and fill it up, then they may want another one, you know?
Right.
So it's great to see those kinds of things. It's just opportunity banging on your door.
Exactly. It exactly is. Yeah.
All right, here. What else do we do? Checking Etsy. That's interesting. I don't know that I've done that. Talk to us about this one.
So Etsy has really grown as a marketplace,
Yeah.
and it's their niche. What they say their niche is it's supposed to be. You're supposed to only sell handmade, hand designed, or vintage, or supplies. Those are the three things you're supposed to sell in there.
Mm-hmm.
But their definition of handmade has become broader with each passing moment. Looking at these results, you can see that some of these bracelets look exactly like the results on Amazon. And like, I seriously doubt that first, like that one with the Tree of Life pendant on it down there. I doubt seriously that was actually handmade by someone in the United States. I think that was probably handmade in India, and they just imported it and they're just selling it on Etsy. So, so Etsy's a really good place to look. One of the things that I was particularly intrigued by, and it's kind of hard to see on the slide, but one of these results is selling for $45.
Wow.
And so what we saw on Amazon was everything was like $10, right? Ish. And so I don't want to there's nothing I can hand make and sell for $10, right? Like, it's just not going to happen.
Nope.
So let's just say I wanted to do leather bracelets. Well, wow, why is that one selling? Is that one selling for $45? Because people can charge whatever they want. But how do you know if it's actually selling? So it's different on Etsy than it is on Amazon. Etsy doesn't have a bestsellers rank. And so you have to kind of use these little hints and clues to tell you if things are selling. And so when you go, so this, I blew it up, this thing where it says shop rating, and is a blow up from this $45 bracelet. Because I was very curious if that in fact was something viable. Because if I was going to do this product, I would want to sell the $45 one, not the $10 one. And so anyway, so there's two things you want to look for is shop reviews. How many shop reviews? Because you'll see in Etsy results when you do a search, you'll have stuff that runs the gamut from, 30 shop reviews to 30, not 30,000, that's a lot, like 5,000 shop reviews. So the shop reviews tell you how popular that shop is. And then you can also see there's reviews for specific items in the shop. And so this 37 reviews for an item is really good on Etsy. Like even 6 reviews for an item is good.
Oh, okay.
And certainly anything over 15 reviews for an item is good. Yeah. So,
do you find that like on Amazon, we buy everybody, we're consumers, we all buy on Amazon, but a very small fraction of us actually take the time to go back and review something. Is that likely the case over on Etsy too? So even if someone does have some reviews, they've probably sold a whole lot more than the number.
Right, exactly. But and I don't know the numbers of what percent of people actually leave reviews compared to purchases, but it just, this is kind of our search for, is this a good idea? Do people like this? And so now this is a separate technique, but I have found products that are popular on Etsy that are not on Amazon. And I have put them on Amazon or put something similar on Amazon because people they want it on the platform they're on. So anyway, so when you're searching Etsy, the way that you see if something is a profitable idea is you look to see how many reviews per item and how many reviews per store. And it can give you a lot of information. And then you can actually, of course, read the reviews and see what people say. And that's always helpful on any platform, right? What people like, what they don't like, that kind of stuff. But so, yeah, Etsy is a really good source of information that I think is kind of underused by people. And they have books on there too. Like there's a lot of journals and spiral bound books and things like that. And really your books that you sell on Amazon, you could sell on Etsy. You would have to order prints of them, obviously, and sell them like from your home. I don't think the time to fulfill the order from Amazon would be worth it. But that's another option for KDP authors because it is a handmade item. You're just using Amazon as your printing partner, basically. So anyway, that's kind of an aside. There are people who buy books on Amazon. They buy journals. They buy cookbooks. Etsy. All that same stuff is selling here. So yeah, so you check Etsy for if you have an idea and then you're like, okay, Amazon saturated or whatever. It's a good idea on Amazon. Let me check Etsy and see if it's a good idea. It's really good data.
And this works for all kinds of things too. I mean, whatever it is you want to manufacture or create, or that you have an idea to manufacture or create.
Yeah. And actually one of the things I've just learned this recently, Etsy is a fabulous digital marketplace.
Yes.
So I have actually bought digital art on Etsy to use on things I sell on Amazon. But if you produce digital products, whether it's, book interiors or PDFs or anything like that, you can sell those on Etsy too.
Yes. And we had Diana on here last week talking about digital planners, which was amazing. Yes. So,
Anyway, so whatever you're thinking about doing, if you have this idea and you're like, is this a good idea? Look it up on Etsy and get the data. Are people reviewing that item? What are they paying for it? That kind of stuff.
Excellent. I love it. Okay. And number 1, talk about sales channels. Oh yeah. This is a big one here too.
So this is another broad generalization, but I'm going to say there's really 2 big kinds of purchases. There's the kind of purchase where you know exactly what you want and you're searching for it, or the kind of thing you want and you're searching for it. So you know that you want a day planner for 2021, or you know that you want a Mother's Day card for your mother who just survived cancer, or you know what I mean? Like you are looking by keywords for the exact thing you want, or you're looking for an Instant Pot. You want that exact thing. That's the kind of stuff that sells well online, is the more keyword oriented searching. There's a whole nother range of things that sell well in stores because people see it and they like it and then they want it. And that component of browsing and just being like, oh, that's so cool. I want that, is, I think less of that happens online. I mean, I know it does happen online, but it's a totally different kind of browsing. And so, because this chat is for people who sell in all different kinds of places, it's important. So sometimes you might have this idea, and I've done this, like my leather bracelet thing I was telling you. I mean, I love those leather bracelets. They're beautiful. I still love them. I follow this company. If I'd had a boutique and I could have displayed those bracelets, I'm confident that they would sell because they're beautiful, and I would pay $40 for it without even thinking about it. Right. But online, it doesn't work. So when you're thinking of an idea to sell, you want to know your sales channel and kind of know your customer. They're related, but are you selling on eBay? Are you selling on Etsy? Are you selling on Amazon? Are you selling your own website? Are you selling it in a brick and mortar store? Are you at arts and crafts fair? Are you on a Facebook group? Are you on Instagram? And every different place that you sell has its own character. And its own rules and its own vibe. So it's really important to think both about kind of like your idea and your product and your customer, and choose the right channel for that. And so taking the time to do that. I see listings on Amazon all the time that have been ported from another platform. And you can just tell, you're like, oh my gosh, this was the eBay person, didn't even know how to do it. And we do the same thing. Like if I put an Amazon listing on Etsy, Etsy's pictures are beautiful. Every picture looks like a work of art. But you take your crappy Amazon picture on the plain white background and throw it on Etsy and it looks out of place. So you need to know your sales channel, know your platform. And when you have this idea, if you're selling the $45 leather bracelet, that's probably more of an in-person experience or an exclusive Etsy experience. You're going to have less volume, but you're going to really be appealing to your target customer, but you're not going to be able to sell that on a mass market platform.
That's a good point too. Cause the other day I was thinking, it's springtime. I want a new pair of shoes, some sandals. And so I just, I have a couple department store apps on my phone, like some of us do, my favorite department stores, and I'll just go on there and just kind of surf around for shoes. I want a pair of shoes. Now, I'm not going there specifically for a gold pair of sorrel, wedge sandals, right? I wasn't searching for that specifically. I was just kind of browsing around, and that's a whole lot different than going to Amazon and looking for a gold pair of wedge sorrel sandals.
Right. And I actually, so there's certain things, like when I look for shoes, I will only buy there's only certain brands of sandals I'll buy because I know that those will fit me. So I'll browse very specifically. So, I'll look at Vionic sandals, but I'm not just looking at sandals. So that would work on a keyword search, because even though I'm browsing, I still have some idea of what I want. Whereas if you're just that's why shoe stores can launch new products differently than an online store can. So
interesting point. All right, so let's recap these. Oh, well, that's your thank you. So let's recap those. I'll come back to that.
That's fine.
Like that. There we go. That way we can talk too. You and I. So those are really great ideas, and we have some questions, and I wanted to go through those here real quick in our feed. I don't know if you can see those too. Let's see. Sharon's here from. She came a little late from YouTube. But she jumped in here on Facebook. Yes, digital products, and we talked about that and how great of a tool that is for digital products. We talked about that last session too on Etsy. Let's see. Patty says, I sell on Etsy, and while you can't find the bestseller information on Etsy, you can use eRank to get bestseller data. So there's there's tools for everything.
I actually use eRank. eRank is great software, and it's only $10 a month. You can use it for Amazon data, you can use the Etsy information for Amazon data, but this was meant to be kind of a beginner level information. But I definitely go deeper into eRank because I think it's fantastic software.
And then, I like Helium 10 too. And you can sign up for the free version of Helium 10 and get 2 searches a day on there, which is pretty good instead of paying $100 a month, And
eRank has a free level, which is great. And Helium 10 has their free level. But to give you an example of the difference. So Helium 10 pulls their data from the API for Amazon. And some of the data that they can't get from Amazon, they extrapolate based on historical information. So when they say there's 500 searches a day or a month, they don't really know exactly that number. They're kind of guesstimating based on other information points. But like eRank, they pull their data from a totally different third-party data service. They actually pay for that data from a service that people agree to basically have their internet activity monitored. And then that data is collected en masse, so they can say. So what I love about eRank, even if you're using it for Amazon research, is that because the data comes from a completely different source, you can get keywords and just information that is not available on Helium 10 because they just pull from 2 completely different buckets.
I've used Helium 10 for a couple of things, but I like how it scrapes keywords, and so I do use that piece of it. This keyword scraper.
Yeah, no, the keyword, I use Magnet all the time, both for coming up with product ideas.
Cerebro.
Yeah. So the class, which I don't want to do too much on that, but I have a class that I offer on. It's a new class I just launched this year called Product Research Simplified.
Oh, cool.
Because what I found is that product research tends to get buried in other classes, like private label classes, or
it does.
It's always some piece of another program, and that when you learn how to do good product research, it sort of leads you to the sourcing that works. So you might do product research and be like, wow, I really need to be doing books. Let me go create some KDP books. Or I just got this idea from my research for something I can make from a promotional products company or a bundle or whatever. So the kind of product instructs you on how to source it.
And that's the fun part. Yeah.
Yeah. And it is fun. So I have this class called Product Research Simplified, but I do a whole section on Helium 10. And I do talk about eRank. They're both really good software packages. And they both have free components that you should definitely use, even if you don't use the paid version.
Those are great tool. Okay, let's see.
Michelle, you should check out. I would be curious to hear your feedback on eRank.
Oh, okay.
Because you've done so much book keyword research on Helium-10. If you looked up some of your same book things on eRank, and it pulls Amazon data, not just Etsy data, I'd love to hear kind of how it sits with you and what you think. I think you'd like it.
Yeah. One of the other one, what's the other tool I'm thinking of? That other
Jungle Scout.
Jungle Scout, yeah. So I've looked at, I'll put like my ASIN into my Amazon product number into that program, right? Jungle Scout. And it will estimate these are the number of sales that product has per month. Now, it's a great ballpark. It really is. It gives you a good ballpark. If I want to start making, stocking hats to put on my mug for Christmas time, totally terrible idea, but just as an example, little stocking hats to put on here. I can go look that up and it'll tell me approximately how many it will sell. But I've put in, like a book and I know exactly how many of that particular book. I know the number because I am very data oriented. And so I can tell you this book sells, 5 a day, 10 a day, or, 500 a month or whatever. And then I'll go to Jungle Scout and it will say not that number. It'll say a totally different number. It'll say a lot.
Right.
But I think it's like you're saying, it's the collective of all the data, and you got to look at all the numbers, not just one piece of the number for things.
Yeah. And I have, people will say to me like, well, I have this idea and it's not like there's no searches per month. So it's a bad idea. And that is not true either.
No,
I have sold stuff that has been bestsellers that had no searches per month because I had information from other sources that I thought this was still a good idea.
Yeah.
So all the tools, whatever they are powerful, but none of them are gospel.
Yeah, they go together. Great. Let's see. Patty says, Amazon buyers want fast and cheap. Etsy buyers are patient and willing to pay more for quality. Well, that's an interesting observation too. Probably about the truth of it. We've been conditioned on Amazon to totally get it fast and get it now, right? I'm going to go over to our Facebook group real quick and see if there's any other comments in there. I'm pulling it up.
So can I ask those people who are live, because I can see your, have you guys have any of these things I mentioned? Have you guys tried them, or do you have another thing that you tried when you have a new idea? Like, do any of these work for you already, or do you have something else you do? Like, I'm always curious to hear other people research their ideas.
That's an excellent question. So post your comments. And if you're watching this on the replay also, feel free to do that. And Cordelia will be able to come back and answer, we'd love hearing that. I kind of do this same thing, maybe in a little bit different order, but I try and hit all these points, what is anybody even searching for it on Amazon, right? If they are, is the current products even selling on Amazon? Now, that's not to say it wouldn't sell. Somebody came up with, swear word and farting coloring books, which, and now they sell really great. So it's not to say it wouldn't be, but you also got to realize that if there's no data, there may or may not be a good idea with things. So I try to go through that whole system there too. Excellent. Let me see. A bunch of likes. Thank you everyone for watching and liking. That's super wonderful. We love seeing that you're here too. So talk to us, Cordelia, about people that are brand new. We have a lot of brand new people in our audience that, they're thinking, hey, I want to get started on the internet. I want to create something online. Is this going to be a surefire way, or how can I be sure that, help these people believe it's possible if they go through some steps before they take the big dive?
Yeah. So I'm a huge believer in managing your investment as you start and reinvesting. So I didn't always believe in that. When I first started selling online, it was the glory days of retail arbitrage. And you could walk into Walgreens and buy stuff and double your money without even thinking about it. It was like, and I wish I had, of course, at the time, I didn't realize how great it was. I could have made way more money, right? Because it was like printing money at the beginning, right?
Yeah, we all did that.
But now it's not like that anymore. It's a lot harder to do. I haven't done arbitrage in like 3 years. So, sorry, my 9-year-old is crawling around on the floor behind me. If you hear something,
that's okay. That's why we do what we do, so we can have a family close by.
So, Max, you can pop up and wave hello if you want.
Back to the internet world, Max.
So, in terms of a lot of what I believe in, whether you take my programs or not, doesn't matter. But say you want to do private label. I think that you should start with promotional products. You can launch your product for less than $200. And I don't think you should spend $5,000.
No, you don't need to. It's
not
one
thing from China, because here's the thing: no matter what you do, you're going to make mistakes. And nobody doesn't make mistakes. And so even Coca-Cola made massive companies with massive resources make product mistakes, right? So everybody makes product mistakes. So you really want to manage your initial investment so that you can afford the mistakes. Because you never want to be in a position where I believe, where my family's in danger because I screwed up a product. And so I've had to learn that the hard way sometimes. I've had to with our personal money because I over-invested and I was over-optimistic with not really a lot of data to back it up. And I didn't discuss it with my husband, and we just kind of had to suck it up and deal with it. I don't do that anymore. Now what I recommend is you take an amount that you can afford to lose and you invest it, and then you don't put more in. So if you have $200, start with that. If you have $1,000, you put that in an account, and then you do not put more money in. So all your tools, everything has to come out of that money. And then as that money grows, you can do more things. Now, the great thing about KDP and books, which is what Michelle teaches, is that you can get in with not a lot of money invested in product.
Or even other print on demand merch by Amazon or other.
Yeah, I think very few people make real money on merch. So yeah, I think there's more people that make real money on KDP than on merch.
Yeah. Or coffee mugs and other print on demand things.
And it's really important too that you have money. Let's take the coffee mug example. I tried print on demand coffee mugs.
Okay.
And we ordered samples from and some of them we had to pay for the samples, right? We uploaded design, and one of them arrived broken, and the integration didn't work with our Shopify site. And I was like, oh my God, if this had been a customer that had ordered this and it got broken, we couldn't get in touch with the company to send a replacement, and it wasn't packaged properly. So we abandoned print on demand for breakables because it just wasn't up to par with the quality of what Amazon required. We couldn't guarantee that the packaging was right, everything was right.
So the benefit of not ordering 100 mugs in advance,
Well, we do we do promo products for our glassware and drinkware, because I would rather order 100 and pay for them. And then if there's a problem, we know in advance, we can get credited for the ones that aren't good enough quality. And we're making sure that every single one we sell is immaculate. That's great. I couldn't get that level of comfort with print on demand glassware and drinkware.
Interesting. So, and knowing that in advance that you're going to go into it, you're going to do your research and then order samples. So, Yeah,
I'm amazed how many people do merch and they've never bought a merch shirt. Right. I bought all my first designs and some of them were terrible. Right. They were sideways or they were too wide. I didn't know how to do a shirt. And same with KDP. I didn't just buy my own books, but I bought other people's KDP books because I wanted to see the bestsellers that were good. I both wanted to see the quality of the cover design, and I wanted to see what the interior pages look like, and I wanted my book to look like a real book, right? I wanted to do it, and I didn't really know how to do that by myself, and so I ordered some books that were bestsellers and you can tell by looking at the publisher if it's KDP. And the little things like that, you need to be able to invest in how to produce a quality product. And I know how to do I know how to use graphic software.
There you go.
I'm not a graphic designer, but I can do a lot.
Yeah, me too. I'm kind of in that camp as well. I can get around pretty good in there if I have to.
But like you either need to invest time to learn how to do that, or you're going to be paying graphic designers to do graphic design work for you because you need to have good quality graphic design.
Yeah. If you're going to do that,
you got to pay somebody to do it.
Yes. Let's see.
Possible. So that was a very long answer of like, if you start small and grow it, I think you can really do it. It's not a slam dunk. Like you just,
if it was, everybody would be slam dunking.
Yeah, exactly.
We all had to work our way here. We put one foot in front of the other, we stick our stake in the ground and we keep on climbing, that's how you get there.
Exactly.
Patty says, yes, Cordelia she also looks at Google Trends, social media, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, and others. That's great. Great. Thank you for sharing. Sharon says, research is like you can't get a job without experience, but you can't get experience with a job. Will it sell? Or do other people just not know that they might be looking for what you have to offer yet? We didn't know that yet, which is all the whole reason we're here talking about how you can find that out. Excellent. Very, very good questions. And please feel free to continue posting those. So Cordelia, as far as making money on the internet, and you have a lot of experience because you've created physical products and you sell physical products in a variety of platforms online. Of course, you have your own community of sellers that you help support and coach and guide and all of that. And all that vastness of all that experience, would you still say there's a large opportunity to make money on the internet?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And
the biggest thing that I am always struggling with is marketing. And whether it's writing listings or writing emails or learning how to do a better job at this kind of thing or whatever it is, that is a never ending journey, is learning how to be better at marketing. And a lot of people just want to create products and not think about marketing. But good marketers are expensive.
Well, and the creative process is fun. It's more fun for me to go create another product than it is for me to sit there and tweak and advertise and promote and market the other one. I want to just go make the next one. And that happens to me like all the time because I have this next idea I want to do, Patty also says, and Patty actually, by the way, also sells quite a bit on merch. So that's subject to people's experience. But merch by Amazon sells to Disney and lots of others. So that and anyway.
Now, what I meant by the size is the size of the image. So they give you like a dimension that you can print on. But if you actually use that whole space to have an image on, it's too wide. It like curves around to the side of it goes to your armpits.
Oh, okay. So that's what you mean by getting a good graphic designer to do that.
Right. Patty has an amazing to order the shirt and see how my design that I saw on the computer screen
translated
to a physical, like where it sat on the shirt. So that I don't need to order every shirt. I can tell by looking at the screen where my design is going to be on the shirt.
Yeah.
When I first started, I didn't know how to do that. And so like stuff would be too close to the neck. If you want your thing to be like here, you don't want the words to start right here. And especially for women, you don't want the design to be too wide, because then it wraps around your body and you can't see the edges of it. But then sometimes you might have design that is okay being really long, but other times it's really shorter than the dimensions they give you. So that's what I meant about size. And same with mugs and anything you do when you're printing on a thing that already exists, even books, like where does the title physically, how does that picture translate into a book cover? And I just, to me,
on my
right?
There's a spider on my ceiling.
Oh no.
Sorry, you keep on talking because
Charlotte.
okay. Sorry, I just couldn't have that.
So whatever you're, especially if you're, look, even if you are ordering something from wholesale, like if you've never seen it before and you've never touched it, like I had a client hire me to write listings for them, and they were selling a thing I had knew nothing about. And I'm like, you have to send me one because I can't write a really good listing because I don't know it. I don't have any background of knowledge about this.
All about doing the research.
Yeah. So you just, sometimes you just need to see it, touch it, feel it to like understand why is that $45 leather bracelet better than the $10 one? You might not really know that until you order both of them, you know?
We expect the next book is going to be something about the spider on the ceiling.
The spider on the ceiling. The spider web mandala book, and it's all like spider webs and different mandala designs.
Well, I live on a farm in the country, and you just never know, you know? You just don't. The crazy things. You know?
I love seeing your posts about your farm because I live in the suburbs and I've never like been a farmer. So, you know, I have like a little vegetable. I love seeing your horses and everything.
Yeah.
Spiders in the suburbs too.
Yeah. I do love it. It's interesting. I'm always like in my email list to my subscribers, I'm always telling stories about it and stuff. And today I was telling them about how my husband was out in the yard this last weekend. And he was mowing it. And as he was mowing, all of a sudden, a big red stream came out of the side of the lawnmower. And, you know, he's just horrified because he thought that he ran over a critter, you know. I mean, was it a rabbit or mice or squirrel or what, you know? Because we have lots of little small critters that just run around all over. My dogs go nuts chasing them and stuff. So this red streak just flew out the side of the lawnmower. He thought he just like, you know.
Killed something.
Well, actually, what really happened was last summer I had been out there doing some crafts and I had a little bottle of red paint.
Oh.
And it had got lost down in the grass.
Right.
And so when he went, it just shot out. And now there's this round circle on my lawn for where the lawnmower swirled it around.
So actually, one example I'll give you guys of, for people who are just like learning how to make money online, it's not always about KDP or products. Like one of the things farmers are doing now is they're learning how to sell direct to consumers because the supply chain has changed.
Oh, yeah.
Right. They're, you know, and so they're having food go fallow in the fields because the restaurants aren't ordering it. And so like I know here in Georgia, there's more and more farmers that are trying to figure out, but like if you're somebody who knows how to do online business and you could go to like a farmer and be like, hey, you know, I can sell your cow for $8 a pound instead of $6 a pound. And I just want the $2 a pound. And I'll have the email list and I'll do this and I'll do that. Like that's a real value add.
Yeah.
So making money online isn't always about creating products online. It can be everything from, you know, just it's solving problems basically.
And helping somebody else. Because a lot of people, you know, I have people come to me who, you know, someone in, we're very also in the automotive world. And I had someone in the automotive world, you know, that goes into the track regularly contact me and say, hey, I manufacture these parts in my shop. Michelle, how could I get them to sell online and what avenues and channels? Because they have no experience with that. So once you learn how to get your, you know, you may have a product already, but once you learn the process, you may be able to be one of those people that can help support other people doing the same thing. Yeah, well said. Yep, there is a lot of money to be made on the internet, right, Cordelia? Yeah.
There is, and
I make money every single day online, and I love it.
I love seeing those things. You know, your product just sold while I'm sitting there making lunch. It's nice.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. And I even have to get to a point where I'm like not checking it because I'm like, oh, there's some more. Like, quit getting obsessive about checking it. You know, I think that I sell books on KDP every day, lots of them. But also I have other sales online too. And it's like I sell those every single day too. And it's super exciting to watch that. And to be grateful for that, to know, hey, you know what, I took the day and I went and spent it with my grandkids, and I still had sales that day. And that's the reason we do this. We do this business online so that we can do what we want, when we want, and how we want. And I might work, 10 hours one day, but take the next day off, or I might only work 2 or 3 hours a day, but I get to choose that. And that's a beautiful thing, especially in the the world that is today and how things have changed. Patty says, Cordelia, I looked for your courses on research. I get an error. Oh, let me put this screen up for that real quick on how y'all can contact Cordelia.
If you go to scannersociety.com/classes, it should be there.
There we go. Scannersociety.com/classes.
Yeah. So
I'll double check.
I can post a link, but.
Yep, the link looks just fine. Everything's working here. So, yep, that's how you can get a hold of Cordelia.
And I'm also in this group. So if you just want to tag me in a comment or whatever, or question, I'll be happy to just be here and answer stuff and be helpful. So.
Oh, that's awesome. So definitely, whoops. I just hit the wrong button there. See, and you too can have a show online and click the wrong button, Sharon says, thank you, Michelle and Cordelia. Thank you so much. We appreciate that very much. So thank you so much, Cordelia, for sharing with us today 5 ways to validate your product, to know your next big idea is one that's going to be profitable for you. I challenge you to do that in advance of something. If you have additional questions, post them here. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to this channel. Click the little bell icon up there so you get notified when new videos are released. Give us a thumbs up and a like. Same with on Facebook. And if you're on Facebook and you know someone that this video would help, go ahead and tag him in here. Let him know that there's information here. You know what, Cordelia, I see this all the time. I don't know about you, but I see people who post on different forums on the internet, several different forums. And I'll see that, hey, I'm doing this particular business. Someone I saw the other day said, hey, I have a business, and it was, I don't recall what it was off the top of my head. But I'm not selling that. It's not working out anymore in the way things are going. I want to do something online. Where do I go? And this is an excellent first step. So if you hear someone say those things, tag them here on Facebook, that they can actually do this research in advance. And it will help them to know where to go first. And that's the whole reason that I'm here, is to help those people, direct them to those new things. So tag them, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, ask questions, right?
So I'm going to give Michelle a little plug here because.
Oh, okay.
So one of the things, when I first started being in a community, I share, if there's a good class, it's not my class. I don't care, right? Like I share it. I just want to help the people get the information they need. But what I began to see is that in other communities, that whoever runs that community only wants to share their own stuff, right?
Oh,
their
okay.
classes, their content. And if, in fact, I've even had posts deleted when I said, oh, I read this book about that thing and it was amazing. You should, because somebody asked a question, I'm trying to learn how to do this. How did you guys learn? I said, oh, I read this. It wasn't even my book. It was just some book that I read, but it wasn't by the person who ran the group.
Uh-huh.
And they deleted it and they wrote me this message, hey, you're only allowed to post my stuff.
Oh.
And I was like, well, I was really just trying to help that person with the book that helped me. I wasn't, trying. So in my community, I'm like, I've shared Michelle's classes. I think they're great in other people's classes. But one of the things I've seen Michelle do too is generously try to be of service to her members. And she's not like, well, you can't share this because it doesn't, doesn't affect my bottom line or whatever. So I think that's a really good community to be in. And if you're in other business communities, it's okay if you kind of know that with your eyes wide open, but make sure that you know what they're sending you to. Mm-hmm. A little farm ring. Wait, what was that? What was was that the theme song for some TV show?
Oh, my phone. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, what was the song?
I don't know, whatever the phone one is.
Oh, I thought it was like a TV. So anyway, I really, I'm always happy to meet other people who are open to just helping people no matter what. And Michelle's definitely like that.
Yeah, and I, you know what, and interestingly, it was one of those landscapes. Like, do I step into this landscape because there's 50 billion websites all about how to make money on the internet, but there's so many scams out there, and I want my 11-year-old granddaughter or my 70-year-old grandparents to be able to break it down and be like, hey, I want to do something on the internet. I'll be go right here. Click there, do that, listen to that, and go with it. And this is legit, real people. So I'm passionate about sharing real, legit people that have, we've been in the valleys. We've bloodied our knees in the ditches on this stuff. So definitely learn from us so that you can not make those mistakes, so that you can go straight to having success as quickly as possible with it. And that's my goal. So yeah, thank you so much for that, Cordelia. I appreciate that. That's that sweet plug. And everyone says, thank you, Michelle and Cordelia. Thank you, ladies. Great stuff today. Thank you so much. Y'all go out there and make some money on the internet and go do some good in the world with it. So we'll see you later. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.